Hey, it's MK, and I am back with another Baby Got Scraps layout. And this one here, I have to say, started in one direction and ended up in another. So I planned on doing an 8.5 by 11 page today with this bluebird. This was the very first time I saw a blue jay in real life. So I was super excited, and every time that we saw one, my kids are like, Mom, take a picture, take a picture. So I did. And then I just picked out some yellow and blue based off of my flower paper that I had here, but I didn't realize that the blue side, both sides match my flowers. So I was kind of like, oh, I could use both sides, but I don't know what I'm doing yet. So let's find out. The first thing I am going to do, though, is fussy cut all of those flowers out because I don't know how else to use such busy paper like that in its entirety. I just don't know how, you guys. So I fussy cut. All right. And then while I was fussy cutting, I thought, oh my gosh, these are way too tropical and a little bit too bright for a blue jay. I kind of sort of wanted to go a different route with my blue jay photos. So instead, I found these really cool photos of this gorgeous pink bird that had like a shovel for a beak. It was the cutest little bird, and he or she, I apologize. It just was like there at the zoo. So these are obviously zoo pictures, not the same as the blue jay. The blue jay was actually in at June Lake, but this bird just wanted to be seen. Every time that my husband would turn his back around, the bird would kind of squawk or make this really weird noise to get his attention again. And so it was just strutting his stuff and making sure that, I don't want you to look at anything else in this little atrium. I want you to look at me. And I thought it was adorable. All right, so the first thing I did was I took my 8.5 by 11, which is actually, I think it's called an A4 card, and it was 12 inches by a little shy of 8.5. And I had to put it back together because I cut it at 8.5 by 11, or well, a little shy of 8. But I already cut it at 11, assuming I was going to make it for my blue jay. And in order for me to get enough photo mats for my photos, I had to glue it back together or washi tape it back together. And then because my photos blended in too well to the green card, I also ended up putting a thin white border around all of my photos, which I absolutely love how they just pop. I fussy cut out my little circle, and then I distressed the edge just a little bit so that way my fussy cutting doesn't look, like my 10-year-olds, which isn't a bad thing, but sometimes I'm terrible at circles is my issue. Everything else looks just fine because it looks like it was meant to be, but when it comes to a circle, it's not pretty. So basically, I am trying to figure out how I want these flowers to go around. Now, my pictures are not as bright in the camera as they are in real life. Actually, the bird doesn't look pink at all, but in real life, the photos, they're very pink. And so I don't understand why they didn't show up in the camera very well. I apologize about that. They don't make sense if you can't see it. So what I decided that I wanted to do was I wanted these flowers to kind of go up in a viney, swirly type of way around my left-hand photos and then kind of branch out over to the right-hand photos, if that makes any sense. So I'm trying to get a good path going, and before I frustrate myself because all these cards are moving, I could have washi taped them all together, but kind of what I'm doing is pretending like everything is still glued together and making it as if I would have made a whole layout, which is, I think this would be a 9 by 12 if I do my math correct. No, it's a 10. 6 and 4 is 10. Wow, I can't do math. So this is definitely one of those, and I'm trying to get everything to stay put so I can envision how all of these flowers would look together overflowing into the next pocket is kind of where I'm going with all of this. And I just didn't want to, have well, I needed to cut the paper, the cardstock, the green cardstock, so it did make the width that I needed. So they definitely needed to be cut. Anything else, I didn't have to do that. But yeah, I definitely should have, like that moon, or well, that circle bit, I should have definitely put that down first. So that way these two cards would have been nice and snug together, and I wouldn't have had to shift and do all that good stuff. But yeah, I like how interactive the pockets look when you have elements kind of overflowing into each other, even though I do intend on cutting these apart and, gluing them down very well. So that way the pockets don't get caught on, caught going down into, what am I trying to say? I make sure that all the edges are glued down very well, so that way when I go to put these back in the pocket, they don't catch on the edge of the pocket going in, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Yes, my brain says it does. So just making sure that I have enough and that it is all flowing the way that I want it, and I absolutely love how it looks. So I'm going to start committing to all of my flowers and all of the bits that I haven't. I left all this in so that way you guys could see and visualize how this is going to go in, especially since I am working with 5 different pages in a sense. But yet I'm going to make them all look as if it's just one page. Yes, that's how it is. My title is very, very simple. It is just love. I wish I had the word adore, because that would have been a little bit better. Because like I said, this bird was just screaming literally for attention, and my husband got a big old kick out of it because it was a unique bird. We've never seen one like this. My kids did find the plaque that told us what the bird was, like what its type was, but I didn't write it down, because I always say, I can remember that. Yeah. No, I can't. I don't remember what type of bird this was, but definitely a unique bird, one we've never seen before. And it was attention starved. Clearly, because my husband could not turn his back to this bird, and we just giggled the whole time. All right, so I basically wanted to show you guys that I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to cut apart on the seams. But I cut it out because it is time consuming. It takes a little bit of slowness to make sure that you're not going to rip through it. So I just showed you starting it and ending it. And then after I put my title down, because I wanted it to also stretch across 2 pockets, I put it down and then just took my guillotine trimmer and cut it in half. It was just a foam word. So now I'm going to add a few stars. Again, they look like they blend into the photo, but in real life you can see them perfectly. So I don't know. I must have had a light turned off that made everything look the way it does. You guys, I apologize about that. But I just took all the stars off of the sheet that the word love came on, and decided that I was going to go ahead and just use them all up. It's stars and hearts, or stars and flowers are a good combination, I thought, and it's not too girly for me. Not that these flowers are like uber super boyish, but they're a good color. I definitely wanted to bring in that red flower down at the bottom, and then I really liked that shade of pink in those other 2 flowers on the right side. So I wanted to bring those in. And then the other pinks I kind of sort of just tucked here and there and had them accenting. It's okay. And then I fussy cut out a bunch of teeny tiny little flowers that I wanted to scatter around and use as kind of like my enamel dots. And I thought that it brought everything together, the flow of it. I thought that it completed the flow of these really cool flowers. So I'm just going to show you guys the close-ups, because I know that, working on such a small platform, it's kind of sort of hard to see. And you can kind of see the bird's pinky hue in the close-ups, but not as vibrant as the photos are supposed to be. That is just weird. Anyways, get over it. Stop talking about it. And that is it for me today. I am glad that I decided to use these photos as opposed to the bluebirds because I don't think, or I should say the blue jays, because I don't think that, I think that the flowers would have taken away from my bluebird. I definitely need to come up with a different kind of layout for him, for sure. Yes. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I definitely appreciate you hanging out with me. Be sure to check out everyone else that is playing along and using up their scraps. I am so excited to be able to use up these scraps. You guys, it is just so fun trying to see what you come up with all these different elements and stuff, and using up what's been in your stash for, could have been years. Who knows? I try to do this. Well, I started last year, and I definitely enjoyed the fact that I was released from all of my scraps for the rest of the year, and then I saved my scraps until this time this year, so I could do this again. And it was just, I don't know, you guys, it was freeing. It was amazing. Anyways, thank you, and I will check y'all later. Bye.